Hello, this is JuJuan Buford, founder of JSB Business Solutions Group, co-founder of NextOppSocial and PPLSI Entrepreneur. And what I want to talk about is a topic that has reared its head repeatedly over the last 2 weeks with frightening consistency in my mind. And the question that I have been challenged to approach for other individuals is, how do you stay motivated? How to stay focused, how to keep the energy, right? And I'm not going to spend the next 20 some odd hours, or quite frankly, 20 some odd minutes or 2 minutes talking about my tale of woe. But what I will say is I've been through divorce, family custody, conflicts. I've had to reinvent myself professionally on several occasions over the last 20 years. And, you know, as the organization has continued to grow and I've met individuals who are going through trials and tribulations, I'll share in more detail maybe later on about the extent in which those dumb apple decisions I've made over the years cost me in terms of my business. But what I'm going to say in short is that I'm no stranger to BS.com, right? And those who are close to me and those who are really close to me have seen me navigate choppy waters. And the question, once again, that has been posed to me repeatedly is, look, despite all the stuff that you've gone through, despite some of just the heinous behaviors on other people, double crosses, betrayal, all type of nonsense, bad decisions you made, places that you put yourself in, how do you stay focused? Or maybe you're in a situation where you just haven't developed the entrepreneurial muscle, right? I remember 20 years ago being there where I did not develop the entrepreneurial. I had a work ethic, I had talent, willingness to learn, chip on my shoulder, all that fun stuff, but had not developed the entrepreneurial muscle. Or maybe you've just fallen out of love with entrepreneurship. Maybe you've been planting seeds in soil that's not fertile, right? Where you have talent, you have work ethic, but the bottom line is you're planting seeds in a market that's not growing, or a market that is hyper competitive. Well, some people are planting seeds in a market that are non-existent, but that's a conversation for another time, right? Because if you're listening to this, more than likely you're a PPLSI entrepreneur, and our ground is very fertile, so you don't have to worry about that. We are in a growing market, and we have a proven value proposition that has helped over 30,000 families earn residual revenues from home, and well over, at this point, 300 families that are earning 6 and 7 figures building businesses from home. So I can dispense with that part, right? Discussion, though I may revisit it later on. But, you know, back to the matter at hand. How do you stay focused? How do you bring the same energy when BS.com is happening all around you, or perhaps you just haven't developed, once again, the entrepreneurial muscle to kind of push through some of the issues and challenges that will come up? And as I think about that question, I really think it boils down to two things: attention and self-concept, right? And look, I don't have the bandwidth right now to give this the full deep dive it deserves, but I'm going to hit on a couple points that I hope serves you well as you listen to this, right? And once again, I'll reiterate, I think it really boils down to attention and self-concept. And what I want to share with everyone listening is that everyone has trouble with focus. Everyone has trouble staying motivated. Everyone has had points in their business lives where they just felt like, you know what, later for this, miss me with this. I want to do something else, right? Entrepreneurship is difficult. It is not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. The bottom line is only 2% of the U.S. population knows what it's like to earn a six-figure income on a consistent basis, entrepreneur and non-entrepreneur alike. And while the accoutrement to entrepreneurship is fantastic, freedom, flexibility, time freedom, financial independence, if you do it right, to the ability to live lives that people dream about, right? Sometimes you got to be sleeping while, you got to be working while people are sleeping. You got to pay a price. And so, if done right, all these accoutrements can be yours, but if not done right, man, it can be some real stress and headache. So to be successful as an entrepreneur is not guaranteed. You can't be deserving of it. And so I just want to say that first and foremost, that if you've made the decision to earn grown adult income, 6-figure plus as an entrepreneur, number one, you're in rare air to be able to get there. And then if you're talking about earning 250, 500, a million, trust me, you're going to put in that work, and it's going to be a grind. Do not believe the YouTube, Instagram gurus, and I call them gurus on purpose, out there telling you can kick up your feet, fluff your pillow, pray, talk to, watch The Secret a million times. It's going to happen for you. No, it's not. Okay. Faith without works is an empty promise. And the people who are talking that nonsense, 9 times out of 10, they've already achieved. They didn't show you their ugly duckling stage, number one. And then number two, they're usually W-2s, earning their income from a job, and they're selling books and videos and all other fun stuff. Okay, I'm gonna dispense with that and be done with it. Okay, so here's the thing. What do I mean by attention and self-concept? Well, number one, if you want to stay focused, I believe it's very difficult to put your life's energies behind a compromise. What do I mean by that? I strongly encourage individuals build businesses, build enterprises, or work with a mentor to help you leverage or understand your skill stack. Understand your skill stack. All of us come to entrepreneurship with different experiences, and we come to entrepreneurship with different skills. That's why there's no silver bullet. There's no quote unquote one magical way. If you follow the path exactly someone else has, it's going to work for you. It doesn't work that way because we all come with different experiences and skill stacks. And you need to do an assessment of your skill stacks. You need to do an assessment of the things that you're passionate about. You need to do a real assessment of the things that you value, the things that matter to you, whether it be family, money. Let me say that again, money. Yeah, some of you are building your business and you're sharing false motives, right? You're sharing motivations that really aren't consistent with what you really value, right? Because we want to say things that sound good to other people. It doesn't work in entrepreneurship. You only get away with that so long. Look, if money, clothes, yachts, boats, watches, steak, and eggs motivate you, let that be your deal, okay? If that's what motivates you, okay? You can't fake it. If you have people you want to prove wrong, you want to stunt, then that's you. Everyone else is already taken. Be you, because it's hard to put your energies behind a compromise. You have to be willing to stand on you, right? And understand that you're not an anomaly. If you're motivated by helping people, if you're motivated by knowledge, information, educating people, you want to have fun, right? You're a quote unquote dolphin, if you will, and that's what motivates you. Then roll out on you. If that's what you value, if those are the things that matter to you, being able to travel, sip wine, read books, teach people, get it out the dirt, go back into the community and do community outreach, then get in contact with those values. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is difficult. There are times where you're going to do work and you're not going to get paid for it. So later on, you can get paid for work that you no longer have to do, but in the beginning, you have to do work that you don't get paid for. And if it's just about money alone, you can earn money doing a lot of different things. The vehicle, you have to see it as a means to manifest your values so you can find that energy. I value entrepreneurship. I value financial independence. I value community cogency. I value coherence of thought and action. These are the things that I value. I value family, but I believe entrepreneurship is the best way to handle all those different things. It's the best way to address all those different things. If you can control what happens at your kitchen table, 9 times out of 10, you can control what happens in terms of your relationships with your spouse, significant other, or your children. Most marriages end for financial reasons, right? Expectations not being met. It is what it is. If you want to take control of what happens in your community, your neighborhood, when you're the employer in your community, your neighborhood, guess who dictates what goes on in your neighborhood? Guess who dictates whether or not a rec center or a liquor store ends up on the corner? Guess who dictates whether the police arrive in 2 seconds, 2 minutes, or 20 minutes? You. Right? Not people on the outside. I believe it's empowerment, right? It's a core value of mine among a number of other values. You have to define the things that are of value to you. And you have to see your thing, in this case, talking about PPLSI, as the vehicle in which to manifest those values. So you'll have the energy. So you'll have the mission, be driven by mission as opposed to commission. So you'll find energy to do the things when things aren't going your way. I don't believe in faking it till you make it. It's about faith, right? If people have succeeded before you, and you have mentorship and you plant seeds in fertile soil, that's like so important. It's so important. Then I firmly believe that there's no reason why you can't enjoy a modicum of success too. And of course, how much that modicum is depending on how much you're willing to pour into it, right? But that's so absolutely important. Part of being focused and staying motivated is clearly defining the things that give you energy. Now it gives your friends energy. Now it gives your family members energy. Now it gives your mother or father energy. The things that give you energy. You got to find that. You got to write these things down, right? That's part of the process of staying motivated. All right. Because here's the thing. In order to successfully build a business, you need people. That's the other piece. And so you got to be genuine because people have real BS, real good BS.com. We're real good at uncovering people who are not genuine. You get away with it for a little while, but eventually you get caught up, right? Some incongruence, some crack in the shield shows up. Okay. And how you attract people and how you attract tribe is by banging your tuning fork. Your values, your principles, the conversation you're having with yourself about things that matter to you, things that give you energy, it's resonating, right? 4 people go into a party. 1 person hits the wall. 1 person goes get warmed up first, before they hit the dance floor. Some people stay warmed up, so that's another person. And then you have the other people just hit the floor immediately and have a good time. It's the same party. It's the same music. But we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Birds of a feather attract each other. They fly together, right? That's what happens the majority of the time. 99% of the time, right? So part of the reason why I'm making sure you are being consistent and true to your values and the things that matter to you is because you're banging a tuning fork. And you're going to attract individuals who share the same values, share the same principles, care about the same things. That's the game. And so if you're having a difficult time finding energy, but also making connections with other people, is because you don't have a coherent soundtrack. You haven't defined the things. You're not clear about what gives you energy. And so it's hard for you to get up to do the things you need to do, but it's also hard for people to buy into you. You got to sell yourself though first. You're the first to hear the words come out of your mouth. You're the first to hear your thoughts for anyone else. But once you've articulated yourself, once you begin to vibrate your soundtrack, other people pick up on that. And so that's why that's a very important piece, because eventually you're going to need tribe, right? To achieve your goals. If you have big goals, you want to impact and influence a lot of people, you want to build a business that grows away from you, you're going to need people. And that's why this piece is so absolutely important. So number 1, defining your soundtrack, if you will, right? So defining values is difficult. Define your soundtrack. What is the soundtracks playing in your head? What's the loop, the things that matter, the things that you want, things you desire? And be unabashed about that, okay? Unless you're trying to hurt people. And I'm going to assume you listen to this, that's not you. All right, so here's the other thing. What are your goals? Yeah, I'm going back to being a little bit redundant. So we talk about values. Your goals should be consistent with your values. Okay, so you value your family and you want them to be comfortable living in a place where there's not buckshots, gunshots, and all kinds of BS.com happening. So you probably want that 4-bedroom, right? A full basement and a space, maybe not gated, but safer than where you're at. Okay, so maybe the goal is to raise enough revenue, build your credit in such a way where you acquire that house. It is what it is. Maybe your goal is to show some people up. People been hating on you, been talking about you. You want to prove them wrong. So at the next high school, college reunion, you want to show up in the BMW, Cadillac, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. Rolls Royce, whatever vehicle you can think of. I'm not into vehicles, if you can't tell. I like them. I'm just not into them like that. It's not what motivates me. It doesn't give me energy. But whatever that is for you, you want to show up, you want to shut down the club, whatever. Okay, make sure your goals are consistent with your values. Okay. And you should have short-term and you should have long-term goals. And the goals need to be BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals, where you share them with people. They don't look at you like, hell no, there's no way in the world you're going to accomplish that. But they look at you like, hell no, are you going to accomplish that? Curiosity is a wonderful thing. Curiosity creates attention. And when you're building, you want attention. You want to see people, you want people to see you going through your process, right? So you should have short-term goals, manageable goals. You have, or some people call SMART goals, right? So specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, with a timeline attached. So short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals are things you can achieve within the next 3 to 6 months. Long-term goals are goals that may take you 2 to 5 years, but you want the goals not only to stretch the imagination of people around you, you want goals to stretch you. You want the goals to stretch you. So you have to become a different person, because the person you are today is not capable of achieving the goals that you have tomorrow, because you got to become a different person. But you have goals that will stretch you, that will force you to acquire more skills, force you to acquire more knowledge, more wisdom, more experience, do things to take you out your comfort zone. You're not going to achieve your goals. There's goal setting and there's goal achieving. Part of goal achieving, people are set goals, they don't have a goal achievement plan, and so they set the goals, they don't achieve the goals, they say the goals don't work. No, it's not that the goals don't work. You set goals, you have these affirmations, these ideals and vision that you want for yourself, but you don't have a goal achieving process. That's what a lot of this has to do with that I'm going to share. You need to have a goal achieving process. Part of that process is having goals that are big enough to force you to do the things that are very, very important to you and become the person that is deserved and able to achieve those goals. Because once again, you set an appointment to be wherever you're at today. You did. By the decisions you made, the skill stacks you have or don't have, the knowledge you have or don't have, the connections you have or don't have. You set an appointment. You made choices. That's why you're here. You got to make different choices. You got to do different things. People say, I'm uncomfortable. Okay, good. Entrepreneurs, the difference between us and everyone else is we are comfortable running to discomfort. right? Doing things that we may not have expertise at yet, knowledge of yet, capacity yet, right? So your goals got to be big. That's part of the goal achieving process, right? Also, look, I'm going to say this again. We talked about values, we talked about goals. The goals need to be yours. Do not set goals based on how other people think about you. It does not matter. Those people, when you meet your maker, 9 times out of 10, if the weather is not good, they're not coming to your funeral. Why do you care? They're not going to look, if they aren't paying your bills, if they aren't supporting you, cheerleading for you, if they are not investing in you in monetary, time, talent, whatever the case may be, the headspace, the rent needs to be very expensive to be in your headspace. The bottom line is, if you're not contributing to my success, if you're not cheerleading, if you're not speaking well of me when I'm not around, if you're not contributing monetarily by being a client or if an investor, if you are not contributing time or talent, the rent here is very expensive. That's the cost to be here in my cerebral cortex thinking about you. Straight up. Unless you're my children. Otherwise, you can't get here without paying that expense. It needs to be the same thing with you. Okay? So your goals are your goals. The things that you want to achieve are yours and yours alone. Don't let other people define it for you. Because once again, when the going gets tough, when the waters get choppy, it's inevitable. Everyone goes to the BS.com. Everyone experiences death, car accidents, disability, sickness, disappointment, betrayal, etc., etc. We all go through it. The thing is, when you have a little bit of extra money, you have more answers to the problems that pop up. It just is what it is. Okay. So, okay. Affirmations. Okay. Affirmations are very important. And your affirmations need to affirm that you are a business owner. I know the majority of you listening right now, you are making the transition from W-2 to 1099, or you're making the transition from solopreneur to business owner. You're in transition. And part of the reason why a lot of individuals fail, especially at the launch, is you really haven't identified yourself as a business owner. You look at your business as that thing you're doing on the side, or it's that company that you're filling. No, it's your company. It's your business, your financial independence, your dreams, your goals are tied. You have to take ownership. When you take ownership of something, you treat it differently. You handle it different. It's like if you've ever been given a car or a gift by someone, but especially young men, right? I'm just going to speak from my experience. I remember the car was given to me. I treated it well. I did what I was supposed to do. Got the oil change and, took reasonable care of it. But the first time I bought a car out of pocket, I loved on that car. I loved on that car. I did. Look, oil change was supposed to happen a month ago. It happened a month before. Okay. I loved on that car. I did everything I could to keep that car in the best of shape. I put my money in it. I felt I had ownership of it. I earned it. You got to treat your business that same way. You got to start seeing yourself as a business owner. Affirmations are a very important part of that. Right? So you need to have affirmations about, I am a business owner. The red carpet is rolled out for me. I help people. People are glad to see me. I'm enthusiastic about the opportunity to make manifest my goals, my values, and to go out here and serve the people how I want to serve them in a way that I want to serve them and serve people whom I want to serve. Right? 3 questions I ask most entrepreneurs just starting out, I believe is applicable here, is number 1, why? Why have you chosen entrepreneurship? What do you hope to achieve by being an entrepreneur? Number 1, you need to define that. Number 2, what's the impact you want to make in the world? You heard my impact statement. Maybe you want to be the plug. Right? I know people who want to be the plug. That's why they join our business. They want to connect people with resources. That's kind of like part of our mission. It's part of what they do. What's your mission? Right? How do you want to serve people? And then who do you want to serve? Don't tell me everybody. Who do you want to serve? Okay? People say, I want to serve everybody. No, you don't. If you're a business owner, you don't want to serve the people who do not have the means to pay you, or you can't find the means to help them. You won't last very long. Sorry. You don't want to serve people who don't appreciate you and who will not take advantage of your services or don't see the value in your product or don't see the value in you. Trust me, you'll fall in love with that real quick. Who do you want to serve? Who do you want to help? How do you want to help people? Who's your buyer persona or avatar? Who's your ideal client? I'm not saying everyone can't benefit from what you're doing, but you need to ask that question. What's the impact you want to have in people's lives? That's important. That's motivation, right? Seeing outcomes and seeing that you met someone, and when you met them, they were here. You met them at A, right? And then you brought them to F or S or Z. Seeing the progress, right? The work manifest and what you're doing. You got to be able to find those things. These things are important. These need to be part of your affirmations, right? Because if your self-concept is so absolutely important. If you see yourself as a hot dog eater, you eat hot dogs. If you see yourself as a Big Mac eater, you eat Big Macs. If you see yourself as a smoker, you're going to smoke. Smokers smoke. Runners run. People who work out, right? It's part of your self-concept. Entrepreneurs, entrepreneur. Business owners, business owner. W-2s do what W-2s do. Right? So you have to start speaking this stuff into your life. But it's not enough to speak it. Once again, this is part of the goal setting, but you also have a goal achievement plan. Part of that goal achievement plan is, it's discipline and it's commitment. It's discipline and commitment. That's part of the goal achievement process. So I know I come across individuals who say, JuJuan, I'm willing to invest. I want to save. I'll get there and I'll earn more money when I have more available. You're not going to have more until you invest. Some people say, I'll go to the gym when I feel better. Okay. False narrative. You won't feel better until you go to the gym. I'll invest in my business. I'll attend the meetings. I'll read the book in a month. I will go to the trainings. The only place where success comes before trainings in the dictionary, by the way. I'll listen and seek out mentorship when I earn money. You won't earn enough money to sustain yourself until you do those things. I'll invite people to learn about my business when I've earned a couple bucks. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. There's no in between. You can't make excuses and win at the same time. That's part of the goal achieving process. So not only do you need to have affirmations, but you need to begin to put the habits in place to achieve those affirmations. You have to be the person who becomes deserving of that. You know when you're cheating. The first person you break a promise to is yourself. If you only have 5 hours a week to do your business, then give it to 5. If you have 10, give it 10. If you have 20, give it 20. But give it what you know you can give, because the first person that realizes you're lying is you. And it is a gut punch psychologically when you're lying to yourself and when you break commitments. You think you're hurting other people. You are. But more important than that, you're hurting yourself. Because every time you break a promise, you also break your own confidence. So part of the affirmations is also setting goals, like activity goals, things that you can commit to, things you're going to do. And it does not matter how big they are. They can be little, tiny, small things. Like, I want to invite 2 people a day to learn about my business. That's it. Just 2 people a day. I want to take 5 minutes. Doesn't seem like a big deal. It is. It is number one because it accumulates. 2 times 5 is 10. End of a month, 40. End of a quarter, 120, right? You see where this is going? Now, are you going to become a multi-millionaire overnight with that startup type activity? No, you're not. But it's just getting the ball rolling. It's getting in practice, right? Getting in the practice. That's how I want you to view your business, by the way. That's part of the goal achieving process, is viewing your business as a practice. Everything you're doing is practicing. So practicing the presentation, practicing inviting people, practicing the exposure process, practicing how to help someone on board, practicing how to help someone walk through utilizing service and creating happy clients, practicing getting referrals. This is all part of the process. You start small. You commit to a couple simple things and allow it to snowball. Snowflakes turn to snowballs. That's part of the process, right? So all this is about, if you can't tell, a lot of this is about getting your head right. It's about getting your head right. I'm going to get into the physical, material things you have to do. But if your head isn't right, that's so huge when you talk about staying motivated and staying focused. It's getting your head in the game. Attention is like the sun. What you shine it on grows. What you neglect withers. So this is about attention, right? And doing the things that are required to create attention. So that's why this piece, when I talk about self-concept and attention, is so absolutely important, because that is what determines whether or not you have the energy, the internal inspiration to do the things you need to do to be successful. Because you can only find it outside for so long. eventually you got to plant the seed inside of you, right? And this is how you do that. This is how you water the seed, right? The other things is, look, your goals need to be omnipotent. What do I mean by that? They need to be everywhere. If you and I are conversing, whether we're sitting at a restaurant, I don't care, we're at the grocery store, at the gym, whatever the case may be. If I ask you, what are your goals? You should be able to put your hands, like physically, tangibly, put your hands on your goals. I don't care even if you're going to the bathroom, okay? Because people take their cell phones to the bathroom. Your goals need to be everywhere. I don't care if you put them in index cards. I don't care if you have them reminders on your phone every hour your phone goes off. Hey, look at your goals, and you pull it up and look at your goals. Whether it's in your refrigerator, in your mirror, in the bathroom, and before you go to bed, if you're at the office, your goals need to be omnipotent. They need to be everywhere. Look, you're having 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Super majority of them are negative. You can't do anything about it, okay? It's a human being thing. When we were running from lions, tigers, and bears, and other animals and mammals who were bigger, stronger, faster, with sharper teeth than us, we had to be worried all the time, okay? The negativity served us very well. That's why we're able to survive. Don't eat that berry. Last time someone ate a berry we didn't recognize, they caught that ill, right? So it's evolution. We can't help ourselves. The negativity is like ingrained. It's kept us alive. The issue is, it doesn't serve you very well as an entrepreneur. So you have to offset it. The only way you offset the negativity is to make your goals and your affirmations omnipotent. They need to be everywhere. They need to be omnipresent, not omnipotent. Omnipresent. That's what I really meant. Okay. So they need to be omnipresent. They need to be everywhere, because you got to offset the 60 to 80,000 thoughts, and 80 to 90% of them are negative. It's hot wiring. Don't get upset about it. It's skilled trade. You know, being positive is skilled trade. It's skilled trade, for real. Even people who are like extremely positive, they have moments of negativity too. And they have moments of silent negativity that you're not aware of. But they have the capacity to focus their attention on the things that bring them excitement, joy, satisfaction. You got to do the exact same thing. It has to be skilled trade. It has to be part of your wiring. And if you're already in a negative place, you have to start there. So your affirmations, your goals, the things that matter, you have constant reminders, pictures. People have vision boards. You can't carry your vision boards everywhere. So maybe you have a journal. Maybe you save them in your phone where literally you have an alert that goes on. If you're willing to, every time Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever the hell is going off in your phone, if you're willing to set aside 5 seconds to investigate that, you should be able to set aside every hour an alert telling you about your goals. Straight up. Okay? So they need to be everywhere. Okay? It's so important, because here's the thing. Not only do you have to offset what's going on outside of you, keep in mind, you have to offset what's going on inside of you too. The mind is hot wired for comfort. The mind is hot wired for safety. A lot of times, because most people have not been trained in entrepreneurship in middle school, high school, and even college, right? That's why a lot of wealthy people say they hire MBAs. They don't trust them as business partners, right? You got to offset that wiring. And the mind is seeking comfort. And most of your success is going to come outside your comfort zone. We as entrepreneurs get paid for the largesse of the problems that we solve. The bigger the problems we solve, 9 times out of 10, the more income we make. And solving big problems requires a degree of discomfort and strain, and your mind's going to fight you. That's why you also need these reminders around you all the time. This is part of the staying motivated process, right? Self-concept, attention, right? I want you to think about it like elite athletes, elite musicians, elite performers. I mean, anyone that you name that's elite, I mean, really elite, they will tell you about their trials and tribulations, their times of woe. And the one thing that you will find they all had in common is they were willing to run once again to the discomfort, right? They embraced the discomfort. They embraced the no, right? I like to tell people in our sales team that your job is no. Go for no, right? There's a book out there. I can't remember the name of the author right now. There's a book out there called Go for No. That's the job. You got to be willing to run towards no. Your success is not on the other side of yes. Your success is on the side of no, going through enough no's to get to the yes, to get to the success, right? And so you got to have these things around you. And once again, entrepreneurial mindset, right? Self-concept. When you become an entrepreneur, when you get it, the wiring in your head, you start to think like this. You start to behave like this. You don't fake it, you faith it. You follow the principles, the mindsets, right? The golden brick road, the golden nuggets are laid before you, and you'll have success. Okay. So questions that I encourage individuals to ask to keep your internal compass, to keep your goal achieving process, right? consistent? And these are questions I encourage people to ask on a daily basis, really twice a day, right? So number one, what are you grateful for? Once again, focus your attention on positive things. What are you grateful for? Two people wake up in the morning. One person says glass half empty, glass half full. Which one is right? They're both right. If you think the glass is half full, trust me, you're going to find confirmation of what you believe. That's how we are as human beings. We look for confirmation. If you believe the glass is half full, you're going to find reasons to believe it's half full. You got to be a half full person to be successful as an entrepreneur. It is what it is. Okay. So you need to ask yourself, what are you grateful for? Even as you got up breathing. Now, that's okay, start, but we don't want to be grateful beyond that. But hey, that's where you need to start. That's where you need to start. You get the point. Be grateful. Be grateful for the fact that you had the opportunity to share information. Be grateful for someone who high-fived you. Be grateful for the one exposure. Be grateful for the one presentation. Be grateful that you have a viable business. Some people do not have viable businesses at all, and they don't even know it. It's crazy. So what are you grateful for? An important question you should ask yourself twice a day, in the beginning and the end. Another question you should ask yourself, especially in the beginning, or before you go to bed at night, so you'll be thinking about it when you wake up in the morning, right? Attention, getting your mind focused on the right things. What are 3 things that you'll accomplish to make the day or to make tomorrow a masterpiece? Another important question, to focus your attention, right? And also goal achieving, right? Setting simple things that you can achieve on a daily basis, giving yourself wins. That's part of the goal achieving process. Snowflakes turn snowballs. You're not going to become a multimillionaire overnight. If you're a $30,000 a year person, you don't have $1 million habits. You have $1 million mindsets, but you can work up to it. Okay. What are 3 things that I love most about what I'm becoming? That's important. Once again, affirmation, positive education. The most important story you'll ever hear is the story you tell yourself about yourself. You got to speak positively about yourself. Look, I know what it's like to come up in a negative environment. I know what it's like to get told you're not worth the food you eat. You'll never amount to nothing. You're bad. You're all these different things. Man, parents, be careful what you say to your children. Okay? I know what that's like. You have to offset it. If you don't come from that environment, that's cool too. Okay? So affirm things that are bigger than you. Affirm things that are beyond where you've achieved, right? If you're not coming from BS.com, you're not coming from a negative environment, great. Had a great, successful, wonderful environment, well, affirm some carrots, right? Things you haven't achieved yet. But talk well about yourself and be happy about what you're becoming in the process. Reaffirm those things. All right. At the end of the day, what experience or tasks you accomplish today? Take inventory. That's why I say do 3. Don't go for 5 or 10, 3. Because if you only achieve 1 out of 10, you feel like you suck, right? Because you only achieve 1 out of 10 things. So you're like, man, I didn't get anything done today, right? Not the best. If you're in a situation where you feel like you've achieved 1 out of 5, okay, 1 out of 3, 33%, you can roll with that, right? So let that be part of the process. I got to do this right quick to make sure someone doesn't call me, interrupt this. I'll call in 10 minutes as I start to wrap up here. I had to do that. Sorry. When I learn to edit video, you have to worry about that. So look, what are 3 things you can improve? All right. There are people running around here, this false narrative, this BS.com. You're everything that you need to be. You're all that's required. No, you're not. You need to improve. Okay. There's something out here called competition. There's other people out here that, are competing for your clients, by the way. Competing for the attention of your clients, competing for their dollars, right? No, you're not all you need to be. Stop with the nonsense. Stop the cap. Okay. You need to be improving. You need to be becoming stronger, more intelligent. You're to go further, go farther. You have to become more refined, right? Your network needs to change. Your thoughts need to change because problems are changing. You're solving people's problems and problems change. People evolve. Appetites change. People evolve. Problems, the stuff people need to overcome 5 years from now is different. Dogs don't bark at parked cars. You level up, new problem. They say, look, more money, more problems. I should say more like different problems, right? And you got to be able to level up and meet those solutions, provide solutions for those problems if you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur. Same thing applies here in PPLSI. Okay, so yeah, those are the things you need to be, questions you should ask yourself. And then like I said, one of the questions I love to ask is, what are the things that I want to accomplish tomorrow? What are 3 things will make the biggest difference in my life? When you get comfortable with the 3, then okay, level up to 5. But you need to ask yourself those questions. And you want to ask them top of the morning before everyone else in the world's agenda starts to pull and tag on you. And you want to ask those questions at night, once again, because what you don't want to do is have a situation where you're chasing everything that's urgent all the time, right? The urgent thing, the emergencies need to come up. Those things, while they may need to be addressed, 9 times out of 10, they don't push the ball further. You want to be setting goals that are important, things that actually move the ball forward, right? And the best time to do that is before everyone's agenda and the stress of the world is on your head. You want to do that first in the morning before everybody wakes up, before you start looking at email and text messages, because those are people who are vying for your attention and your focus, right? Remember, attention, staying motivated, attention, that relationship, right? And you want to do it at night before you go to bed. So once again, you are determining the setting of your sail. You're determining what your agenda is. You got to take control of what's happening in your life, because the world's agenda is not going to serve you. Okay. So talked about these things, right? All right. Attention obsession. You want to be obsessed with your attention. You want to focus your attention on your obsession, your goals. You want to be obsessed with it. Look, particularly if you're pulling yourself out of a low place where the negativity is thick, where the problems are like frequent, where they feel like innumerable. Your obsession, you cannot be afraid of obsession. That's why your goals and the things you want to achieve need to be omnipresent. They need to be everywhere. They need to be accessible all the time, everywhere. Roll up a index card, put it in your sock, put it in your purse, put it in your pockets, put 10 of them in your pockets. So you first look at it 10 times per day. Okay. Whatever the case may be, do what you got to do. Right. Because there's the deeper the hole you got to dig yourself out of, the greater obsession, because you can do a lot of things that are uncomfortable. You're going to do a lot of things that are unfamiliar. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're in a really dark place, you have to accept the fact that you perhaps put yourself there. That is, once again, a tenet of entrepreneurship. That's what it means to be an entrepreneur. You accept responsibility even when it hurts, even when you know you're not in the wrong. Because if you're giving your power away to other things and other people, that means other people control you and they dictate what happens to you. You have to take your power. The way you take your power is to take responsibility and agency, even when you're not in the wrong. If you made a decision to put yourself in position for somebody to knock your teeth out, you stuck your chin out. Right? They were wrong for doing it, but you stuck your chin out. You get the point? All right. All right. So now here's the thing. Part 2 of staying motivated and keeping that energy. What are you consuming? What are you consuming? If you're watching constant negative news, turn it off. Turn it off. If you're listening to music, I don't knock listening to music. I love music. I love poetry. I love reading. I love red wine. All those different things. But if those things are not serving you, you need to tune it. You need to turn it down. You need to turn up on the things that do serve you. Me personally, there are a number of podcasts I listen to. A number of podcasts. I love Side Hustle Nation. I listen to a number of real estate podcasts. I listen to How I Built This podcast. I mean, there are like about 10 podcasts I listen to. You want to know what podcasts to follow up with me after this? I'm more than willing to give you the list. I might just put them on my blog. That way you can just find them. You don't got to look for them, right? So certain podcasts I listen to. For the purposes of PPLSI, momentum calls, right? I love listening to other people's success stories. I love listening to other people win. Why? Because if they're winning, I can win, right? People from different backgrounds, socioeconomically, ethnically, in terms of sex, religion, wherever their situation is, wherever they're born from, I love hearing other people's success stories because there's lessons to be learned from other people's success stories, right? So I love listening to that. You got to do that for yourself. You got to start consuming the right things. They say you are what you eat, you are what you think, and what you think is determined by what you allow in your headspace. So podcasts, momentum calls, trainings, success is skilled trade, positivity is skilled trade, exposures, invites, talking to people, pitching, everything is all skilled trade. And you look, and if you are starting from a place where you don't have that many skills, okay, that's great. That means your testimony is going to be that much greater and you'll be more servant to other individuals. Don't get upset that other people start from a place that you haven't started from, where they've been able to have maybe a certain type of education or experience that you don't have yet. They're starting from a different place. But guess what? They're going to have different challenges, right? You start from a low place. I don't get so upset anymore about the fact that I started from a place that I didn't have the things that other people had, because I know I'm stronger. I know I can help people in a different way. I know I can help more people. I can engage more people. I'm more accessible in a certain kind of way because I've experienced things that people who are more privileged than me have not experienced. I know some people who are more privileged than me, they have glass jaws, right? Problems come and they have all these accoutrements. They have all these advantages and they crack like glass, right? So see yourself the same way. Be excited about the opportunities you have to grow. Because keep in mind, it's not about you. If you're building a big business, you want to be able to do what? Help other people level up too, right? CEO, a person who creates environments for opportunities for other people. But you can't teach what you don't know. You can't lead where you have not grown. So trainings, the books of the month. If I watch a movie, Gattaca, for instance, one of my favorite movies. I'm not watching it for entertainment's sake, though I do find it entertaining. I watch it because I love the storyline. It motivates me. Seeing the underdog crush it motivates me. Or I watch movies where people whom are deserve it, right? In a certain kind of way win. I like watching that stuff. It motivates me, gets me going. Particularly movies that are focused around entrepreneurship, where I can learn from them, right? Documentaries. Once again, you got to think like an entrepreneur. You got to become a business owner. You're not a W-2 anymore. You're not a person that chews gum and sits on your couch and watches MMA, drinking Heinekens. Nothing wrong with that, but we're talking about being an entrepreneur here. You need to do entrepreneur things, right? Quacks like a dog, walks like a duck, behaves like a duck is a duck. You hang around 6 cousins, you become a 7. You hang around 6 entrepreneurs, you start doing entrepreneurial things, you become what? An entrepreneur, right? Just like working out shapes you, entrepreneurship shapes you. You got to do entrepreneur things. All right. This is part of how you achieve. This is how you stay up. This is how you stay motivated. This is where you find energy, the reinforcement, right? If I'm watching YouTube, the leadership show, seminars, conventions, workshops. I hear people say, well, I'll go to the workshop and I'll earn more money. You're not going to earn more money until you go to the workshop. You got to get around the people who are crushing it. They say iron sharpens iron. That's a lie. No, it does not. Sharp iron sharpens iron. You hang around a bunch of dull people, you're going to become one of them. You need to get out of your network. It's not lonely at the top. It's just some people don't want what you don't want. They're not willing to pay the price you're willing to price. They're willing to pay the price you're willing to pay. They start looking to the left, start looking to the right. They're not there anymore because they don't want to climb. The air gets too thin. The attention, the discipline, the commitment is too much. They don't want to come on time. They don't want to learn. They don't want to grow. They don't want to be uncomfortable. But when you look to the left and the right, it's not that people aren't there. It's just different people are there. You got to be willing to befriend them. I'm not saying diss the people that you're around, but sometimes you got to distance yourself from people. Sometimes you got to put some distance so you really can come back and do something for them. If not willing to make the climb, they're not willing to make the climb. Trust me, this is part of the goal achieving process. You got to understand these things, right? You're praying for outcomes. You want to walk through that door of opportunity. But sometimes the things that you're praying for are not meant for the people that you have around you. They're not meant for the habits that you currently have. They're not meant for the ideals that you currently espouse or that are couched inside of you. So these things are important. This is part of also staying motivated. People don't rise to the level of desire. This is not the movies. This is real life. People rise to the level of preparedness. And something interesting happens. The more prepared you are, the more you've done, the more you've had a chance to F up and correct yourself and get better at something, you tend to like it a lot more. We tend to like the things that we're kind of good at because we put in the time to get good at it and we like the outcomes. I mean, it's just part of being a human being, right? So once again, where you focus your attention grows. There's just certain songs. I love certain artists. I don't listen to them as much as I used to because, they plant things in my head that don't necessarily serve me as an entrepreneur. That doesn't mean I completely have put away things that I enjoy that aren't related to building a business. But I limit those things and I increase the things that serve me. So this stuff's important, right? Doing entrepreneur things. We know leaders are readers. You got to be willing to learn. You got to give yourself an itinerary. That's part of the goal achieving process, how you stay motivated. Your itinerary. Look, I don't like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing 3 and 4 minute planks. I don't like it. When I'm out of shape, I don't like getting back in shape again to run 2-3 miles. It doesn't feel good. But I get up, I start doing those things, and then it starts getting easy, and I start liking it. And I start looking for other ways to challenge myself. Instead of 2 to 3 miles, let me bump it up to 4 to 5 miles. Let me feel that's, get it in, so to speak, right? It's the same thing. I started out doing planks for a minute. It was killing me. Back, arms, I was supposed to work in summer. Back and arms were hurting. It was crazy. But then once I started doing them, I graduated, and now it doesn't happen anymore. Okay, I don't have those pains anymore. Now I actually feel it in my abdominal section. It's pretty cool. Feels pretty good. Okay, part 3, staying motivated, inspired. You got to guard the gates. Got to guard the gates. People are either pouring into you or distracting you or sapping your strength. Once again, you got to guard the gates. The space between your head needs to be very expensive. You got to make people pay full price to be there. Everybody. Got to guard the gates. Don't take people's hating personal. It's how we're wired as human beings. As an entrepreneur, if you're part of the 2% that's earning more than everyone else, you're different. You're going to behave differently. You're going to talk differently. You're going to move differently. And people are not going to like it because they were accustomed to seeing you when you didn't have those things. Most people around you are accustomed to seeing you when you didn't have access to things. They were accustomed to seeing you when you didn't have the right attitudes, beliefs. You weren't carrying yourself. You weren't vibrating a certain way. You're trying to change your vibrations. People are going to be like, whoa, what's that? Just accept it. It's not personal. It's human nature. It's how we're wired as social animals. We, as human beings, tend to target things that are different in a negative way. Even the people closest to you, your family and friends, you're being different. You're making them uncomfortable. Guard the gates. Be careful about what you allow people to speak into your life and what you allow people to say to you, right? Once again, I'm not saying diss people. Sometimes you got to distance yourself, right? You may say, I don't have good people around me. I don't have folks who are leveling up. I don't have folks who are succeeding. I didn't either. Okay, I grew up Evergreen for a large part of my childhood, not all of it, a large part of my childhood, Evergreen, Chicago, and Joy Road, okay? Not exactly a little manicured neighborhood. The block I grew up on is like only 4 or 5 houses. And trust me, I didn't have people, but you know what? I had Reginald Lewis, John C. Maxwell. I had, now I got Darnell Seltzer World, the Mike Humes, the Nick Serbas, Mark Cuban, Gary Vee, John Gardner. I'm just looking at all this stuff. The people that I've looked to, Jack Canfield. I mean, I go on and on and on. Byron Allen, Madam C.J. Walker, Dr. Dre, John H. Johnson. I had conversations with them all every day. How do you have conversations? I read the books. I listened to their interviews. If I can't meet them, I'm going to meet them where I can meet them. Books, podcasts, YouTube videos, etc. You got to do that for yourself. Guard the gates. Get the right people planting seeds in your head. Okay? That's part of how you stay amped and motivated, right? Because the funny thing happens, you start listening and watching these people, you understand they're not special. They don't have special DNA. There's not special blood run through their veins. A lot of these people, these success stories, entrepreneurs, they're not the most talented or the most intelligent people in the world. And that's good because that means all they did is develop certain habits and mindsets that you can adopt to. This is how you stay motivated because you're tempted to say, well, I can't do what they're doing. People do say that all the time. Well, I can't do what you're doing. I don't have your energy. I don't have your acumen. I don't have this. I don't have that. You think I was born with this? I acquired the same way you will by watching, observing other people and mimicking and faithing it till I make it. They made it doing those things. So I don't have to fake anything. I just follow what they did and I'm going to have their success. It's the same thing, right? Stop listening to gurus and pay attention to doers. People are actually doing the work. And that is another way to make sure you stay motivated because doers ain't going to tolerate your BS.com and your excuses. It's like, did you do it? Oh, you didn't? Click, click, boom. Or they're going to let you have it. Some of you are trying to stay real comfortable with people around you are not really serving you. They're not helping you level up. They're not sharpening you. Okay. All right. You got part 4. You got to fashion new itineraries. You got to put yourself in different environments. I don't believe married men should spend too much time with single men. Bad things happen. I'm not saying it's okay all the time, but single men do single men things. You shouldn't put yourself in environments with single men because you're still a man. You still got eyes. All right, hopefully you get what I'm cooking here. You get where I'm going with this, okay? It's the same thing. You need to put yourself in environments of success. You need to put yourself in environments where people are moving up, excelling, achieving, okay? Not only setting goals, but achieving goals. You got to be willing to do that for yourself. It's so absolutely important. You got to learn to say no to things. You may have to say no to bowling night. You may have to say no to going out to bar, or going out to the restaurant. Got to say no to Instagram, YouTube, or whatever else you're entertaining yourself with for a while. Unless you're on there learning, you shouldn't be on there. It's time out for that. You got to pay a price. Part of the price is saying no to some things that feel good in the short term, but don't serve you long term. Okay, it is what it is. So you got to learn how to say no to certain things. There are certain opportunities I say no to. People come to me with good business ideas all the time. I mean, good ones. I'm like, whoa, I want to do that. But does it fit my skill stack? Does it really fit my values? Does it really take me where I want to go? I'm not touching nothing that does not have residual income, or I don't have the skill stack to quickly turn it into something passive. I don't have a skill stack. If it doesn't pay residual income, I'm not touching it. Sorry, I'm not going to do it. So, right, you got to learn how to say no to things. Oftentimes, you're not paid for what you do. You're oftentimes paid for what you say no to, because things you say no to are time sucks. And you have more time to do things you should be doing. Right? You got to have a mentorship itinerary, a positivity itinerary. You got to have a skilled trade itinerary. You got to have a practice itinerary. Once again, all these things are skilled trade. You have to have an itinerary that serves you. Part of putting yourself in a success environment is creating itineraries. There are certain places I don't go because there are influences in those places where the itinerary does not line up with what I'm trying to accomplish. So environment is huge, and fashion itinerary that serves you is huge. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it forces me to go to bed at 9, 10 p.m. at night. Usually the things that I would be involved in the past at 9 to 10 p.m. plus at night were not things that served me as an entrepreneur. Okay, so I get up at 5 because I'm too tired. I'm not going to get involved in BS.com in the evening. If it's not serving me in terms of my family, my business, I'm not doing it. Right? So that's very important. Don't allow people to put you in places that don't serve you in terms of your goals. Right? So last but not least, number 5, you got to invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself. It's not about what you want to do or what you feel like doing. You got to do what you need to do to be successful. You got to decide that people want so much from their business. They want to take from their business. They want these things from their business, but you're not giving your business what it needs. Sometimes you got to do what your business needs. You got to do what's required. You got to be willing to invest in yourself. You got to be willing to buy the book. If you're not buying the book, if you're not going to the workshop, you're not going to the seminar, you're not participating, whatever it is that you need to be participating in, and the only reason you're not doing it is because I don't have the money, then you need to find the money and do it anyway. You found money before when you needed it. We've all been in situations where emergency comes up and then all of a sudden we get real creative. We get real creative to give other people our money, but for some reason we lack creativity when it comes to investing in ourselves. That is a key mindset that an entrepreneur looks to do. A successful business owner is always looking for ways to invest in themselves. And when they come across something where they're like, I want to do this, but I can't do it because of the money, all of a sudden they get real creative about how to find the money. You do the exact same thing. Just like if your rent was past due, just like you want to buy a gift for someone, just like you want to do whatever, you want to take this vacation, you want to do all these different things, you get real creative to figure that out, right? You got to get real creative about your business. Some people I'm going to go here. I was about to hurt some people's feelings. Some of y'all going to be mad at me. I got kids. I can't do it because of the kids. So you let your kids be your excuse. Really? The kids should be the motivation. It's why you should do it. Okay, you got to choose between buying some expensive gift for your kid's birthday versus spending the money to take that trip to be in a space where other people are leveling up and get the information you need. Buy the less expensive gift. Let that kid be disappointed for one birthday. So for the next 15, 20 birthdays, you give them everything that you want to give them and everything they really need. Don't make excuses. Invest in yourself. This is huge. If it's a situation where you don't have time, then you need to do it so you'll have the time. Because I don't have time. You don't have time not to. You don't have time not to. Nothing's going to change until you change. So you need to spend your time differently, and you need to spend your money differently. You need to start investing time and money in yourself and becoming more valuable. You chose the entrepreneurship game. So you have to be always looking for ways to become more valuable as an entrepreneur so you can do more, so you can solve bigger problems. Therefore, you can have more. And then when you have more and you're serving more people and you're becoming more skilled at the game that you've chosen to play, then you get compensated more and then you have time freedom. The reason why you don't have time is because spending your time doing what you need to do to earn a buck. And then you go to bed with just enough energy and enough time to get the necessary rest to eat, to turn around and hit repeat. You got to get out that cycle. You got to break the wheel. So these are some of the things that if you want to stay motivated, you want to stay inspired, those are the 5, right? Going backwards. Invest in yourself. Create environments and itineraries that serve you. Get in different environments. You got to get uncomfortable. Get around people you're not accustomed to being around. I don't care if you don't like them. It's not about what you feel. It's about what you need to do. Guard the gates. Guard that headspace. For real. Remember, be careful what you're consuming. You eat 20 Big Macs a day, you're going to become a Big Mac in a couple weeks. Same thing. Positive versus negative information. Things that serve you, help you become sharper, better, versus things that don't. You think you got time, you don't. And then remember, attention's like the sun. Self-concept and attention. These things are like the sun. Okay? Shine it on the things that you want to grow inside you. If you're going through BS.com, negative people, negative things, you cannot spend time thinking about those things. Thinking about those things do not serve you. Your creativity is not going where it needs to go. Your creativity needs to go to the things that serve you. So shine attention on that. Stop running to people who are willing to listen to your griping, complaining, and bitching. Get around people who do not tolerate that, who will actually force you to focus on your solutions. All right. That's what I got. I could go deeper. I want to go deeper. I am going to go deeper. There will be a follow-up to this. Hopefully this is a good start. Celebrate success in advance. Goodbye for now.